Hi, Carver Council on Aging. It's Mary from Wild Divinity Yoga, and welcome to our second month of chair yoga. So this installment of chair yoga is going to start off seated in a chair, and we're going to end seated in the chair. But in between, we are going to introduce a standing series, and we'll be using the chair for balance to hold on to. We are going to be coming up out of the chair this month. So I hope you enjoy it. And we will also have a live Zoom class for you for this month. It's going to be November 11th at 9:30 a.m. And then we're going, very excited, at the Nutrition Center at the Carver Council on Aging, doing a live class the following Wednesday, which is the 18th at 9:30. So space is going to be very limited. We're going to be very safe with masks and social distancing. So if it's something you're interested in, let Connie Kelly know at the Carver Council on Aging, and she'll get you signed up for it. So if you've done chair yoga with me before, some of this might be redundant, but it bears repeating. We want to try to find a nice comfortable seat, and we want to be even on our sit bones, so we don't want to be over to one side or the other. And have your feet firmly on the floor if possible. If your legs aren't long enough to be firmly on the floor, grab a couple of things that are equally thick so that you can put your feet on them. Maybe it's a book, maybe you could even use rolls of toilet paper, one under each foot. You could use blocks if you have them, but something that just allows you to have your feet touching, your whole foot touching the ground, so to speak. So we're going to start off here in our seated mountain pose. And sitting up tall, so the crown of your head is reaching for the sky. And maybe taking a mudra, which is a hand gesture, of just intertwining your fingers. And so your pointer fingers are touching at the top and your thumbs are stretched out. And we'll just place that mudra right on your lap. And then lowering your gaze or closing your eyes. The mudra for this month is an Usha mudra, which means dawn. And it's really a mudra for welcoming the day enthusiastically, just welcoming the day as looking at each day as a place of infinite possibilities. So settling in here to your chair, settling into having a marked moment of arrival here for your yoga practice today. And start to notice your breath. Although we like to fancy ourselves as multitaskers, the brain actually is not able to focus on more than one thing at a time. It's not a great multitasker, it's a great switcher. Very, very adept at switching quickly. So when you focus on your breath, there's really taking something that is automatic that we don't think about and bringing it into the forefront of consciousness. And it's very hard to think about that pile of laundry or the dishes building up in the sink when you are just focusing on your inhales and on your exhales. Maybe just noticing the parts of your body that move as you inhale. Hopefully the belly softens and expands. The chest, the rib cage expand. And as you exhale, maybe that reverse journey is predominant in your awareness. Feeling the rib cage contracting back together, the belly button coming in towards your spine. So just sitting here for a moment, observing your breath. Inhale, creating enthusiasm and uplifting energy. And each exhale, cultivating a strong sense of serenity, which will allow you to relax completely. As we're moving along, if you decide you'd like to play some music in the background, please feel free. I do recommend music without words. I find it's a little less distracting. And then start to blink your eyes open, keeping that gaze low. We'll bring our hands down by our sides. I'm going to grab a hold of the chair with my right hand. Inhale my left arm to rise. So we really want to move on, work on a lot of shoulder and neck mobility in the spine. As you raise your hand up, somebody might be here. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. You want to move without pain. You want to move easily. So really just follow your body, not mine. Bring that hand up where it's comfortable for you. And we'll bring that back down, holding onto the bottom of the chair. Inhale, rise up with the right hand. And lower back down. And then let's take a few breaths together. Both arms raise up, rise up. Palms can touch overhead, bending your elbows as much as you like. And then flip the palms and start to push the walls away. So we're flexing our wrists, feeling the muscles on both sides of our arms engage here. So we exhale and lower the arms back down. Let's do two more, just like that. Inhale and rise. A nice long neck. We don't want to bring the shoulders up by the ears. So really tucking the shoulder blades into the back pockets. Exhale and release. One more. Inhale and rise. And exhale and fall. And we'll hold on to the chair again with our left hand. Inhale, just the right arm rises here. And we'll start to just tilt over towards the left hand side. So we use that left hand to maybe hold on to the chair, pushing down a little bit. So we don't want the hip to come up. We have both sits bones firmly in the earth. Really feeling the right side body rib cage opening with each breath. Relaxing with each exhale. Take another deep breath in here. And as you exhale, we'll reach up with that right arm and bring it back down. Holding onto the chair, inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, we'll tilt over towards the right hand side. Just feeling the breath in that left side body. Each inhale, ribcage expands a little more. And each exhale, relax, soften. Next breath in, we'll reach up, come back to the neutral spine. Both arms up, we'll inhale and rise. Shoulders back and down. Exhale, pushing the walls away. Inhale and rise once more. And this time we're going to twist from the bottom of the right rib, the lower right rib, twisting towards the right hand side. Maybe take that left hand and you can place it on the outside of your leg or hold on to the chair if you like. And the right arm, come around and hold on to the back of the chair, or just hang down, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just finding a seated twist here. Sitting up tall. And each inhale lengthens the spine a little more. And each exhale, might deepen the twist. Maybe you can gaze over your shoulder, and maybe that mobility is not there for you today. And that's okay. If you'd like to add a little counter stretch for the neck, we can take our gaze forward and down, looking at our left knee. Or you can stay right where you are. One more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, just release the arms and let the spine come back to neutral. We'll inhale and rise. Shoulders back and down. Exhale, twist from that left lower rib. Right hand can hold on to the chair or just rest on your leg. Left hand can drape behind you or maybe hold on to the chair. And decide what feels right here for your neck, maybe glancing over your shoulder. And maybe not. Knowing each side could be different. So maybe something that felt really great on the right side doesn't feel so great on the left side. So back out of any postures that you have any pain or discomfort. And know that it's normal. And there's no need to judge any movement as good or bad. It's just is. If you'd like to add that next stretch, we can look forward and down at the right knee. And take a deep breath in here. We'll just release the hands and let the spine come back to neutral. Take another inhale and rise. Exhale, push the walls away. So you can stay right where you are. I'm going to be moving my chair around a lot today so that you can get the best view of what we're doing. So staying where you are though. We're going to move into some cat and cows here. So we've moved our spine in a couple of different directions, side to side. We've twisted left and right. So our next move, we're going to start to move, inhale from the arms, we come up, bringing the palms together. We're going to bring them down to our heart center. Intertwine the fingers and push the balls away. And as you do that, start to round the spine and let the head drop, chin to chest, only as far as is comfortable for you. Rounding the spine. Holding the posture, but never hold your breath. And this is considered our seated cat pose, or angry cat. Next breath in, we'll start to bring the hands back as we straighten up. And then we'll reach for the back of the chair, just to hold on here. And we'll start to send our belly and our chest forward, and our gaze can come up. And just holding here for a couple of breaths. It's a little tighter to breathe through our neck when our chin is up. Next breath in, we'll come back to normal or neutral and bring our hands to heart center. I'd like to try a couple of these breaths and movement. There's a lot going on here. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Intertwine the fingers. Exhale, finding your cat. We'll inhale all the way back into our cow, or this is really more what they would call a camel pose. Exhale, and we'll find our count. And if the shoulders are a little too tight, you just want to do this whole thing, hold it onto the chair, absolutely can do that. You can just round the shoulders forward, and then opening them up. We'll do one more round, exhaling to count. And inhaling to count. Coming back to center. And from here, we'll bring both arms out to the side. Now my palms are facing you, facing forward. And from here, without moving your upper arms, just move from the elbow to the fingers. We'll bring the palms facing the ceiling. And then back to face the front, reaching with that middle finger, creating some space. Frozen shoulder is just such a common thing now. So we really want to create some space in the shoulders. We'll be working a lot on the shoulders today. But again, anything that doesn't feel good, just feel free to skip it or do it to a lesser degree. And eventually, your mobility will start to change. And the next time your palms are facing forward, we'll bring both our elbows together and bend at the elbow. So our palms are touching. And I'm just going to start to bring my elbows up a little bit. I want them lying no higher than my shoulders. And really starting to open the backs of the shoulders here. And if you'd like to intensify this a little bit, you can slide that right elbow underneath the left elbow. Bring the backs of the hands together. And if you're super flexible, maybe you can bring the wrists around one another and bring the palms together. This is called eagle arms. It really starts to get into those shoulder blades. Taking a couple of long, slow, deep inhales. And long, slow, deep exhales. And as your thoughts start to wander, try to acknowledge them and bring them back to your breath. Without judgment, that's the brain's job, is to form thoughts. And we'll unwind here and go nice and big again. And this time, as we start to bring the arms together, we'll bring that right arm underneath the left and bring the palms together. And again, you want to stay right here with just elbows and hands touching, that's fine. Left arm's under the right arm, excuse me. I'll have you doing the same thing twice. And again, the backs of the hands can come together, or if you can get their wrists wrapped around one another, pressing the palms to touch. And just noticing any sensations or areas of tightness. And as you breathe in, see if you can send your breath to that area. And as you breathe out, soften and relax that area. And the next breath in, we'll go ahead and take our arms wide and let them fall by our sides. If you want to do a couple of shoulder shrugs here, making some circles with your shoulders, coming forward and up and back and down. And then just remembering to reverse those circles. So we'll start going back and up, forward and down. Just letting those arms hang heavy. Good. I'm going to turn for that this next one, you can stay right where you are. If you have a strap, so it's something if you watch this class next time, you can maybe have a strap handy. You can also use a necktie, a dog leash, even a sock. You have a sock handy. And I have you do is take your arms wide and have something in your left hand. And you don't have to put anything in your left hand, but it makes it a little easier. And we're going to rotate the right hand so it's facing behind you. Bend at the elbow and see if you can get the back of the right hand to your lower back. And we'll take that left arm and raise it up. I'm going to bend at my left elbow and see if I can hold on to that strap with both hands and walk my hands as close as I can without any pain, without any terrible discomfort. And just hold here. This is called cow face pose, the arms of cow face pose. I'm just getting a little bit of different movement. A lot of shoulder pain, bursitis, all comes from repetitive movement. So I always try to switch it up a little bit. And then you can just release the strap with the right hand, bringing it back out to the side and left arm as well. Moving that strap or tie or sock over to the right hand. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Rotate the left hand so it's facing away from you, behind you rather. Bend at the elbow and bring the back of the hand to the lower back. Right arm raises up and we just bend that right arm. See if we can hold on to the strap here. And maybe eventually we can actually get our fingertips to touch. That takes a little practice. So just holding the posture here. And again, never holding your breath. Just focusing on your inhales and your exhales. And at the bottom of your next exhale, we'll release that left hand really slowly. And we'll come back to having our hands on our laps. So our seated mountain pose. And we're going to move into our standing series now. So you don't have to stand up. You can stay in your chair. It's a little difficult to demonstrate both, but I'm going to be demonstrating standing up. We do have a series of beginner yoga, chair yoga that is entirely in your chair that's available online as well. So coming to a standing posture, I think it would make more sense for you to have your chair face you or have your chair in front of you. I'm turning to the side here so you can see me best, but feel free to just leave your chair wherever you can get hold of it for balance. So the first step we're going to do is just start to walk ourselves up so that our knees are touching the chair, and bring your hands to the top of the chair and take a few steps backwards so that you can still hold on to the chair without losing your balance. And you start to notice that we're looking for improve the relationship between our torso and our shoulders. So when it feels like you have to let go, we'll stop here. And then let your chest and your head just hang heavy here. And this would be our chair equivalent of down dog. And if you'd like, you could lower your hands to the seat of the chair, holding onto the back. But maybe just starting at the top of the chair is fine for today. Every day could be different. And when you're ready, we're going to gaze up towards our hands and start to just walk our feet back towards the chair, coming to standing pose. Now, if you take I'm taking the chair away so you can see me. We're going to keep our right foot right next to the chair and take a step back with the left foot. It doesn't have to be a huge step. Before you drop that left heel, I want you to rotate a little bit. So I'm standing on a mat and my foot is going to be kitty corner with the corner of the mat. And then I'll bend into that right leg. Whenever you bend your knees, you want to be able to look down and see your right big toe from the inside of the leg. You don't want the knee to go too far forward. You want to stack it right over your ankle. And we want both hips facing forward here. And this is our warrior one pose. We can bring one arm up overhead, or maybe both arms if you've got good balance. And shoulders are back and down. We're rooted into the ground. Equally on all four corners of each foot. Want to relax your toes so they're not gripping. Making sure that that back foot's really ironed onto the floor. We'll bring our palms to touch here overhead and come down to heart center. We're going to open up to warrior two now. We start with our leg. We rotate it a little bit more. So now my foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Right leg is still bent. And I need to take a little bit of a wider stance, but you don't have to. And you can hold on to the chair and just bring your arms at shoulder height. Using chair for balance. And let your gaze float over your middle finger, your front middle finger. For warrior two. Again, I want to be able to peek down and see my left big toe, my right big toe, excuse me. And then from here, maybe just dance this warrior two a little bit. We're working our oblique muscles. It's a tiny, tiny movement. So we're really from the waist down, we're not moving at all. We're firmly planted in our warrior two. You may just shift a little bit, add a little bit of arm movement if you'd like. That's some oblique workout. Again, it's not a huge movement. And we'll find some stillness back in our warrior two. And we'll flip our palms to face the ceiling. Straighten that front leg, bringing both hands to touch overhead, the gentle warrior. Flipping the palms, exhale, bend into that front leg, warrior two. Again, hold on for balance and just use one arm. Absolutely no problem. Flipping the palms, straightening the front leg, inhaling. Exhale. Warrior two. Last one. Checking in, making sure our knee is still where it should be, stacked over the ankle. Still look down and see your right big toe. I have a hard time with left and right today. And then maybe add some movement, taking that left arm, close it up like a bow and arrow, pulling back. Flinging it behind you. So we'll close up our arm, bringing it across our chest and back. Just a couple more here. And finding stillness once again in our warrior two. Now we'll reach forward with the right arm, flip the palm, and leaving that right leg bent, we start to reach up and back, more up than back, to find our reverse warrior. Having a nice stretch along the right side body, floating back to warrior two. We'll straighten both legs. We're going to internally rotate that right leg. So we're now in a wide-legged, straight-legged position. And let's do this facing the chair. So you move your chair or move your body, it's probably easier. And like we did with down dog, we're going to reach for the top of the chair and then come down to the bottom. Maybe come onto your elbows first and just get used to that. Micro bend in your knees is absolutely fine. And maybe you can bring your forehead right down to the chair as well. Maybe you can touch the ground. Just taking a wide-legged forward fold here. As we come back up, I'd like you to come back to your elbows first. We want to create a flat back. Sometimes when we exercise and do things, we come up too fast and get a big head rush. So from any kind of a position where your head's lower than your heart, always come up to a flat back first before you try to come up to standing. And we'll just gently walk our feet back in together. And come to standing here, finding our mountain pose. And I'm going to move my chair back over so I can hold on to it if I need to. And now we're going to leave our left foot where it is, right in front of the chair, and take a step back with the right foot. Before you drop that back heel, externally rotate your leg a little bit. So now my foot is kitty corner with the back corner of the back right corner of the mat. Bending into the left knee, not too far, stacking it right over the ankle. Both hips face forward. Find our warrior one here. Shoulders back and down. Nice, long, slow, even inhales. And long, slow, even exhales. If you'd like to bring both hands up, you certainly can. And a trick to balancing here is to have a nice wide stance. So if my feet want to be on their own tracks, not on, like I was walking a tightrope. So if you're having a little balance issue here, you could heel toe that left foot over the left side a little more and widen your track. Hands can come to heart center. And now I'm going to spin my back foot so it's parallel with the back of the mat. Finding warrior two on this side. I'm going to turn around here. And take that stance as wide or as narrow as you'd like. You can hold on here, floating the arms, shoulder height. Gaze over your middle finger. Make sure you glance down, you can see the left big toe. And then we are going to flip our palms, straighten the front leg as we bring our hands to touch overhead, gentle warrior. Flipping the palms, exhale back to warrior two. And again, perfectly acceptable, hold on for this. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, gentle. Exhale, warrior two. Last one. And maybe we can dance our warrior two here. Again, small movement. It's all kind of coming from the side obliques. The bottom of that rib cage. And find some stillness. Take that back hand, bring it to join the front hand, like you're pulling a bow and arrow back, and then just fling it. So take everything you want and bring it into your heart and fling away everything that you don't. If only it were that easy, right? And next one, we'll find stillness in warrior two. And reach that left hand forward a little bit. Flip that left palm. And like you're moving through mud, slowly and gently, reach up with the left and just let that right arm slide down your leg. Reversing your warrior. And coming back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Internally rotate for that wide-legged forward fold once more. Finding your version of forward fold. Maybe you come down to your elbows. Maybe you stay with your hands at the top of the chair. Maybe you can bring your forehead down to the seat of the chair. Your choice. And as we rise up, remember breathing in, we're going to find a flat spine first. And then we'll slowly walk our hands up. Slowly walk our feet in. And find our mountain pose once more. And we're going to be starting to work our way back down to the chair. But before we do, we're going to see if we can find a balanced posture here. So standing in your mountain pose, deeply rooted into four corners of the feet. See if you can actually pick up the arches of your feet and find the four corners. Your toes might lift up. And then gently let the toes just relax onto the earth. And we're going to bring all of our weight over to the right foot. Lifting the left heel up. And maybe just an internal, external rotation first. And find a comfortable external rotation. And we're going to bring our left heel and place it on our right ankle. This is our tree pose. So we can stay holding onto the chair. Lots of options here. So stay with me and find the one that works just perfect for you. We can bring our hands to heart center. You can reach your arms up overhead. You could stay with one arm overhead and one arm holding onto the chair. Maybe you can bring your whole foot inside of your calf. Your choice. Play around with it, have fun with it. Embracing the wiggling and the wobbling. And when you're ready, we'll bring that left knee forward first and then down. And just shake that out. There's a lot of weight on one foot. So as you swing your arms, bend into the opposite leg, let the heel come up. Just taking any natural organic movement here that feels good as a counter pose for you. And as we prepare to do that on the other side, I'm going to move my chair, but again, you can just move your body. We're going to bring all the weight into our left foot. Lifting the right heel and just internally, externally rotate. Kind of like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. We're just going to kind of oil it and find that comfortable external rotation. We'll bring our heel to our ankle and start experimenting with tree on this side. Maybe hands can come to heart center. maybe overhead, maybe one down, one up. See what works for you. Maybe the whole foot can come inside the calf. Knowing each side is different, noticing the differences on each side. Challenging part is don't label one side better and one side worse. Just notice the difference. Everybody has a different side. When you're ready, we'll see if we can bring that knee forward before we bring it down. And we'll find a waterfall on this side. And congratulations, you just completed possibly your first standing series. So let's come back down to a seated posture. Well done, well deserved. And again, we're having our feet flat on the floor, finding our seated mountain. Nice tall spine reaching, crown of the head for the sky. Having our sits bones firmly on the chair. And then start to roll out the ankles a little bit. So we're gonna pick up our heels. And then we're gonna lower the heels. And as we do, we'll pick up the toes. I feel like we go from flip-flop season straight into boot season. And our ankles don't really get the workout that we used to when we all wore sneakers and shoes. So just rolling the ankles out here. And we'll find some stillness with our feet flat on the earth. And taking just the right knee. See if you can hug that into your chest. Only as far as is comfortable for you. We'll keep that right foot flexed. And just keeping the gaze low or your eyes closed. As we start to slow ourselves back down, we'll lower that leg. We start to move our awareness more internally. We'll lift our left knee, flexing the left foot. So as you bring your senses more internally, you might just start to let the noises in the room fade. Even my voice fading away. And coming back down with both feet. And we're going to heel toe. I'm going to kick my props out of the way here. We'll heel toe our feet out a little bit wider. So our toes are pointing away and our heels are a little bit closer than our toes. This is our goddess pose. So maybe coming up onto the toes here. And if that's too much, stay right where you are. You're certainly getting the benefits of the posture without picking up your heels. And if you'd like to add the arms in, add like a goalpost arm, bringing them out to the sides, shoulder height, bending at the elbows. Finding your goddess. Maybe rolling the ankles here. Kind of doing a warm up here for our seated pigeon, which is coming up next. Finding stillness. We'll bring our hands down to our knees and heel toe the feet back in together. And taking a hold of the back of the right leg, we'll pick it up and rotate it. See if you can get your ankle to rest on your knee. And you might find a block helpful here. You might find it a little bit too much, and you might want to just cross it at your ankle. But decide what works for you. We find our seated pigeon, a nice hip opener. I think this is one of the only yoga poses I can honestly say, I'm lying if I tell you it's comfortable. It's not, it's uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be painful. If you wanted to add a little pressure as your body starts to settle into it, you could take your hand not on your knee, but on your thigh. Put a little pressure there. If you wanted to add a little bit more stretch here, you can bring your awareness to your left foot and come up onto the left toes. And breathing through the discomfort, training your brain that it doesn't have to react to discomfort. You can breathe long, slow, deep breaths and avoid that part of our brain that wants to react. And we'll go ahead, if you're on your left toe, lower onto a flat foot. And you probably should just hold on to that leg a little bit, maybe move it a little side to side before bringing it back down to the earth. And we'll start to bring the left knee in, rotating the leg a little bit. I'm going to grab onto my heel. And again, you can just cross it over the ankle if you'd like, or rest your ankle on your knee. And just settle in here for a moment, noticing the differences on this side. Maybe taking left hand, placing it on the thigh. Or maybe coming up onto the right toes. And again, those are things to intensify the stretch. So if you're not really feeling the love for this particular posture right now, just stay with the flat foot and let your hands just rest on your thighs, on your shins. Your choice. Just slowly become aware of any thoughts that are popping up. And maybe just give them a label. Are those thoughts useless or not useful? Useful or not useful? And then let them go. Acknowledge them and let them move on. And when you're ready, go lower to a flat foot if you're up on your toe. Maybe hold the foot and the knee. Just give it a little rock like a baby back and forth before bringing it down to the ground. And we're going to hug our knees in one more time on both sides. And the next, we'll bring our arms down by our sides and take a nice deep breath in together. And as we exhale, start to fold forward. So we're going to try to keep a flat spine for as long as we can. And somewhere around the place where your belly and your thighs meet, you can go ahead and just fold forward. If you have low blood pressure or high blood pressure even, you may want to stay at this flat back. Or if you'd like to let your head hang heavy, and relaxing your neck, you're welcome to do that as well. Next breath in, we'll come up to our flat spine before moving all the way up to our seated posture once more. So preparing now for our Shavasana, our ending meditation. Yoga postures, or otherwise known as asana, were designed to prepare the body for long periods of sitting still, long periods of meditation. So find a comfortable seat. If you want to put your socks on, put a sweater on, you have an eye pillow. Closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. And just start to bring your awareness to your temples and your eyes, letting them just soften and relax, almost as if you're being warmed up and melted. Relaxing your cheeks, maybe even letting that bottom jaw just unhinge, parting your lips, unsticking your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And gently swallow, relaxing your throat. And letting that warm glow of relaxation just move all the way over the left shoulder, down the arm, past the elbow, wrist, and into each finger and thumb. And letting that warm glow of relaxation move down to the right shoulder, and down your arm, past your elbow, your wrist, your fingers, and your thumb. Feeling the rib cage just relax and ebb and flow with your breath. Letting your belly soften and your glutes soften on the chair. Your thighs relax, become heavy. Relaxing all the muscles around your knees and your calves and your shins. The insides of your ankles and the outsides of your ankles. And letting that move right through your feet and each toe. For Shavasana. And you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. You can turn off your screen and stay in your meditative position. But I have a reading for you today from Melanie Beattie's book, Journey to the Heart. This passage is titled, Awaken to Your Heart's Contentment. One day you'll awaken to discover your life is all you wanted and hoped it would be. Oh, you'll not find everything just the way your head said you wanted it. It might not be the way what you planned. But you'll awaken to your dreams of joy, love, and peace, your dreams of freedom. You'll see beyond the illusions. You'll transcend your old limiting beliefs. You'll wake up and notice that your past is just as it needed to be. You'll see where you are today is good. You'll notice that you laugh a lot, cry a lot, and smile a lot. You'll look at tomorrow with peace, faith, and hope, knowing that while you cannot control some of what life does, you have possibilities and powers in any circumstance life might bring. The struggle you have lived, and for so many years, the struggle in your heart has disappeared. You're secure, at peace with yourself and your place in this world. One day you'll awaken to your heart's contentment. Let that day be today. So again, you're welcome to tune me out completely and stay in Shavasana. Or if you'd like to close out the class together, and start to blink your eyes open, keeping your gaze low. And we'll bring our hands down by our sides. And together, we're going to take the biggest inhale you've taken today. As we rise up, reach up, and look up. Having the palms come to touch and bringing them down to heart center. So we'll take our right hand over our heart and place your left hand over your right hand, letting the right hand be you and the left hand symbolize the rest of us. Knowing there's a place inside of you that you can always find peace and we can always connect together in love. Namaste. So thank you for joining me today. I believe this video will be left up on the Council on Aging site for the month. And again, I'll give you those dates. We have a live Zoom class online Wednesday the 11th at 9:30. And we have a live in-person chair class on Wednesday the 18th at the Council on Aging at 9:30. And space is limited, so you have to sign up ahead of time with Connie Kelly. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is 781-831-2084. My email address is wilddivinityyoga@gmail.com. And I just want to send a shout out and thank you to Connie Kelly for inviting me to do this for you. It is my absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you in person very soon. Stay safe, wear a mask, and wash your hands. Thanks for coming.